Hey, I just did my first ever book review on Stephen King's Cujo a couple of days ago, and while Stephen King is still my favourite author of all time, I've just finished up reading The Godfather by Mario Puzo, and holy shitballs, it's incredible. This 600-page classic released in 1969 by Mario Puzo is an absolute masterpiece of literature. It gives the average person an insight to the Mafia life and actually has us resonate with the characters who are literally just criminals. And it also created one of the most analysed and famous characters of all time, Michael Corleone. Or Corleone, I've heard it both ways. A lot of this book doesn't really tell much of a story. It kind of often just follows the lives of people that are involved with Mafia organisations, their Cosa Nostra. It also goes without saying that The Godfather ended up being turned into a trilogy of films directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and while I'm not here to talk about those, I will talk about them someday, but I actually reckon the films are a lot more famous than the novel. So I'm just going to talk about the book today. Maybe I'll talk about movies another time. Yeah. Now this novel's length is 595 pages. That's what this copy is. It's decently big, but it's not anything daunting. Cujo, which I did a couple of days ago, was only 420 pages, but while that book was 175 pages shorter, it had a lot of filler sections and shit. But with this book, it really has no wasted words. Nothing isn't said if it doesn't need to be there. There are a lot of sections which may, deviate from the main storyline, but that doesn't mean that they're unnecessary. It's just more information that can help you indulge in the world of The Godfather even more. And with a monstrous cast that is way too big for me to even describe, it's a surprise that this book isn't even longer. This book felt so condensed in a really good way. It flies, it's really easy to follow and easy to read. That's one thing about the movies, is that if you haven't seen them multiple times or you haven't read the book, they can be pretty tricky to understand just because of how many intricacies end up being critical moments, and yeah, it can take a lot to get your head around. But if you find yourself being confused by the movies at all, read this. Read it. The book makes everything so much more clear and enjoyable, and I love the movies 10 times more now that I've read this. What I'm saying is, I highly recommend you read the book, no matter who you are. It's a fantastic book. Everyone should read this. As I've already mentioned, the plot of this book is more of just an insight to the everyday occurrences of Mafia life. The book specifically focuses on the Corleone family, an illegitimate business with Sicilian roots, and they're based in New York. They do dirty deeds for people, basically, and their family is led by Don Vito Corleone. The word Don means lord in Italian. It's similar to English as being knighted, so if you have Sir before your name, that's kind of like a bit of a similarity to the two names. So it focuses on all of the people that come to the Don for help when the legal system doesn't do them justice. It also focuses on everyone who's a member of the Corleone family and who also helps out with them. I won't go too deep into all of that because it's something you really need to enjoy for yourself. There are certainly a few scenes that skew off from the main storyline a bit, and a handful of the scenes discussing business it gets a bit slow. But it's nothing that's unnecessary. I wouldn't change a thing to those scenes. They all play a massive part to the story, and that's why it manages to be intriguing for so long. The characters in this book are so good. There's a great mixture between lovable ones, hateable ones, and a bunch in between. All of them, however, are supremely written, and it's no wonder that they became some of the most famous characters of all time in media. Michael Corleone develops so well in this book, and it just makes me wonder how Mario Puzo sat down and conjured up Michael Corleone out of nowhere. It's just incredible. I really want to say that I absolutely adore this book. It's so incredible, and I am going to reread it 100% in the near future. And it isn't even really my style of books. I'm more of a horror, suspense, crime, thriller. Not really, well, yeah, I guess this does tie into crime a little bit, but it's so different to Stephen King's work, and I love it so much. This book gets a 98% from me. It deserves every bit of this high rating, and the only reason why it loses a couple of marks is because those sections that do skew off go for a little bit longer, and that's not even to say it's bad. They are brilliant sections. It's just that when reading them, I had a few moments where my mind drifted away, and that's only a few moments out of this whole book where I lost a little bit of focus. That is incredible. While I may not have loved this book as much as my Stephen King stuff, I can only imagine people who love their crime and mafia books and how much of a treat this must have been. Hell, it was a treat for me. And as I said, it's not even really my genre. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the review on The Godfather, and I will definitely cover the movies sometime. Next time I'm going to be doing a review on Firestarter by Stephen King. So, I'm looking forward to that. I'll see you then.